Hey guys, well, thanks for joining us this week. We are diving specifically into 4 mistakes to avoid while building your business. So let's tell a story of a beautiful branding that has consumed us all. There's so many different brands out there right now that are beautiful and just so amazing to stop and look at through your scroll in Instagram or even in Pinterest. Most businesses stall launching their business and putting off developing some of the real key pieces of their actual offers while they invest so much money and time in the branding and the website and even their logo. So branding has got us so consumed and wrapped around its little finger that those are the things we're focused on first, versus the other actual key pieces of your business and what you're having to offer. It's a common mistake that we believe has got to come to an end, and that episode specifically about it, so that we could point out a few of the things that we feel like are really important. And today, we want to help all of the creative bosses finally break up with their time-consuming branding needs and desires and get you focused on the 4 really important mistakes to avoid while building your business for success.
Yeah, so the reason this is really important is because as creative bosses ourselves, Crystal and I both are creative bosses. We've actively worked in branding and photography space, and we've heard it time and time again from our fellow creatives, like, I'm waiting to launch until my branding is done, or I'm working on my website first or my brand first, and then I'll launch my product or my offer. And the thing is that this thinking could be a serious setback and launching a ton of missed opportunities, especially if you're spending thousands of dollars before actually making a single sale. So let's dive in to the 4 mistakes to avoid before spending all of your time branding your business. So the first mistake, you haven't validated your big idea or your big offer yet. So what this would be is what you're going to bring to the market, what offer, what product, what service do you have, and validating that with your ideal clients. So instead of trying to perfect your brand or create the best looking website, it would be a better idea to commit to growing an email list of 100 active, raving ideal clients so that you can validate that offer, and so that you get a list of ideal clients who will happily pay for what you have to offer in your lead magnet, except you're offering it for free and validating that you know what you're talking about, that you're an authority, and you're also giving away this massive amount of value and growing your email list of active subscribers and active email subscribers. So this is exactly what I did in my business when I started Ivory Mix. So if you don't know my business, I have ivorymix.com. It's a stock photography website. So what I did was I started offering free stock photos in the very beginning. I had a idea or a glimmer in my eye of what I wanted to offer, but I didn't put it out to sell right away. Instead, I approached other creative business owners with an opportunity to sign up for my email list in exchange for free stock photos. So I knew that giving away extremely valuable free content would allow me to ask my audience for feedback, testimonials, and to sort of reciprocate me giving them free content by sharing it with their following. And so this took, of course, a little initial time investment on my part, but it's ultimately what grew my brand and my business. So showing up to grow that audience with a epic sort of big lead magnet is really what helped grow my business. So do you want to talk about the second mistake?
You said epic.
I did.
Yeah, so the second mistake is that you're not spending the necessary time getting to know your ideal client, and really just see kind of what they think and what their take is on this offer and this idea that you have. You don't know exactly, what they're struggling with, or like what stops them from taking action, or even just, what's happening and talking about in their own lives and how they think things through. A lot of the things that are going to help you make sure that you have the right links in the chain when it comes to creating your offer and actually getting people to convert to sales. Because if you spend tons of time and money on all of these branding aspects, but you haven't stopped to actually think about how this particular customer or ideal client is going to think and process things, and the things that they're going to need to hear from you to know that this is the solution, you're going to have breaks in that chain that's going to not get you to what you need, and that's ultimately being able to make money in your business. So instead of spending hours upon hours developing a visual brand, use that as time to get your brand message right and to get those keywords and the things that your ideal client really needs to hear and connect with on point, so that you can provide those solutions and address those frequently asked questions and things that are going to come up and be common problems that you have a solution for.
Right.
So yeah, what I mean, it kind of goes to trying and practicing it out, right?
Yeah, exactly. You definitely want to try out and practice with your content. So when we talk about showing up on social media or creating blog posts, all of that brand messaging and all of your keywords and all the things that are buzz topics for your ideal client are things you're going to naturally want to put into your content. And so it's up to you to practice what things resonate with your audience and also listen. And so take the time to create your brand message and create that content. Maybe test something out for a week or up to 30 days and see how it resonates, if it gets engagement, if it grows your email list, and if people are really attracted to that message. No, you don't have to wait an entire month before you launch something for sale necessarily, but focusing, of course, on that messaging first before you spend an entire month working on a website, right? I think a sales page and things like that with the right message, of course, is the right place to focus on, but you can work on your content and your message for social media as well before you start, really trying to build this, big brand that costs you $10,000 to launch, And so, I was curious, Crystal, can you think of an example where a survey or a poll impacted your business and how that sort of transformed any messages that you have in your business?
Absolutely. I love polls. So this is a great thing for me to get to say, because I have used polls in two pivotal points of my business when I was kind of niching down and deciding what to do. And I only just recently, in like the last year, invested in actually doing some branding. And I think a lot of the bigger businesses that we see, they're starting to grow and get a lot of traction, are kind of doing the same thing. But I used a poll in my business at two different points when I knew I felt a shift in what my client base was wanting, what people were asking of me, and saw that it seemed like there were a little bit of disconnect with what I was putting out there, but what people were actually requesting and needing, or what their problems were. And so at both those points in my, I guess you could say my career and my business, I stopped and did a poll because I wanted to just fine tune the things that were going on so that they could be realigned. And as I found over the years, as things grew, I found that people were wanting product photos. They wanted more of a custom process. They wanted more content direction and development. They wanted, strategy. They wanted more of these things that I kind of had been doing a little bit here and there, but never really drove home. And so I was able to use that poll to really hear where their problems were and what solutions I could provide them, but then also being able to use that poll as an opportunity, like you were saying, to build out content and to build out, something as a resource that I could constantly go back to when I'm wanting to know what kind of blogs to be putting out there and what kind of behind the scenes and things could I show to help people who are still DIY and, all of those kinds of things. So I've used polls in many different aspects of my business and feel like they're a super important and easy way to get as much information as you can absorb and use across your business in multiple different aspects.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's so so important, whether you have a business that you've been running for a year or a few years, or if you're just brand new. Because to be honest, when I started my quote unquote business, it wasn't a business at all. It was just like literally me trying to figure out what I could do utilizing my skill set that people would, the people that I wanted to work with every day, the types of creative people, what they would be interested in. And literally the only way that I could think of to get people to give me that feedback was to offer them something in exchange. So I know that there's going to be people listening to this going, I don't even have an audience yet. I don't have a customer list. How do I pull people if I don't know people? And what I did was I went into Facebook groups of people who were like-minded, who had blog posts or blogs at the time, because that's really what my quote unquote business was. It was just like a blog. And I asked around and I asked people if they wanted, a copy of my free stock photos. And then once they got into my free stock photos, I would offer, hey, I would love to do something custom for you. In exchange, would you provide me some feedback? Not only giving me testimonials, but also lets me know what they were looking for through the process of creating something custom for them. So I started to learn more about my actual ideal audience and ideal client by working for them. Granted, I did it for free, but I learned so much in the process, which is like invaluable. You know what I mean? Like if you could
Absolutely.
if you could learn everything about your ideal client and pay $100 to do that, would you do it? If you knew that it would give you everything you needed to build a brand and a business that would be successful, you probably would do it. So why wouldn't you offer an hour of your time to get the same results, So that's kind of like where you start. You start with free information, attracting the people that you want to talk to, and then you talk to them.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get out there and connect with them. I mean, I used to sneak into, people's, DMs, or I would just pinpoint and reach out to them directly and say, hey, you know what? Because at the time I was just doing business portraits and headshots, kind of same thing. I was just tiptoeing around trying to figure out exactly what I wanted my business to be and how it was going to work. And, and I had a lot of people in the business community that I knew. And so I just would email them. It might solve the problem, get you the photos and things that you need. Here's the pricing and stuff I'm looking at. And so I just need you to give me as much feedback about it and just talk to me through the process so I can hear the things that are going on. And I would just make notes. They're asking me about outfits. They're asking me about strategy and like how they're going to use their photos afterwards so they can have a pretty feed and like all these other things. And so I would just make note of all of these things that were going on throughout the whole process at the end of the shoot so that I could absorb it all and take it and use it.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so it's a missed opportunity if you're spending your first couple of months in business not doing this. Instead, you're working on your website, you're working on your branding, but you're not actually getting out there talking to people. So it's just not a good, smart use of your time if you genuinely want to have a successful launch or a successful business. People don't necessarily care as much about what your logo looks like as long as you have high quality offering that's going to get them results,
Absolutely.
So let's move on from that. That was like a big topic. But the third mistake, and remember we have 4, the third mistake is that you don't have a good understanding of your ideal client's immediate needs and what simple offer will actually sell. And if it's needed, if it's simple, and if you've demonstrated proof and benefits, it genuinely will sell. So if you know what your ideal client needs, and if you've put together some sort of simple thing and you've demonstrated that you can do the work, it's going to sell because a brand is only there to support your actual goals. So you don't want to waste your time, like we keep saying, working on that brand first. You want to develop that simple offer that's going to sell. So instead of using your precious time branding, start focusing on developing your perfect product offer that solves a very clear problem And if it's selling out, then you can start developing a bigger brand. Just like Crystal. Crystal said she didn't really start working on branding her business this year. That's because she developed a service that works, and she had testimonials and clients and money coming in. So it's like, now it makes sense to invest in something that I want to build bigger and better. Is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah.
I mean, you
I
don't
think
have
that,
to.
yeah, no, I mean, I feel like it covered it. And I think it kind of just, leads us straight into the fourth mistake. And that's that, you don't have a plan to turn, current customers into repeat customers or advocates for your business. And I think that's where, there was a pivotal point in my business when I was, hitting the pavement and, reaching out to friends and trying to get shoots and stuff done and getting those testimonials and finding out what people are really wanting. You don't get a chance to do that, and we call that the customer journey. And that's establishing what is really solving all of their problems and then turning around, giving them a great experience, giving them exactly what it is that they're needing and asking for, giving them that solution, and then letting them then run and tell everybody else that this was exactly what they needed. And that's what really lifted my business off the ground, and just watched it skyrocket the first full year that I was able to get everything fine-tuned in my offer, was that I was able to answer all their questions, and then they were immediately going around and just telling all their friends. And I was able to then start getting clients and customers and people that were calling me going, hey, I was referred by so and so. I didn't get a chance to look at your website, but I know that you're going to have exactly what it is that I need, and let's do this, let's book. And so it was nice to do that and establish that customer journey.
Yeah, because I think if someone's sitting there thinking, I have this business idea, I've been working on my brand, all of this is really resonating with me, but I don't understand what a customer journey is and why it's important because I haven't had a single customer yet. I want to kind of give an example. So let's say you have a great offer that actually sells. Okay, like you've gone through the process of creating an offer and it actually is selling. Now you do what Crystal did and you think, okay, it's time to update my website, get a new logo with a new brand. That's great. But what we're saying is before you get started doing that, it's important to ask if you have systems in place to turn those customers and those offers that you've been selling out into repeat customers. How do you turn a customer that's been coming to you for business and turn them into a loyal customer that's an advocate for your business? That's what we're saying. So if you're not getting your customers to share your products with their friends yet, or if you're struggling to get repeat clients, then skip that rebrand, skip starting a new website with a new logo, and
That's so pretty.
focus instead on that customer journey and make sure that you have the systems in place to get people coming back for when you launch a new offer, or when you have more spots available on your calendar, or when you do that collaboration. Make sure that people are satisfied, that your customer experience is like fine-tuned before you go and fix your website. And I just looked this up today for the podcast, but according to Forbes, companies with a customer experience mindset drive revenue 4 to 8% higher than their competitors. So if that doesn't tell you that rebranding first before working on your customer journey, then I don't know what does. But so look at each step of your customer experience from their initial awareness of your business. So like, what they see and interact with on social media and on your website, through advocacy, through how are you getting them to share your content? How are you getting them to share your offer with their friends? Is there a rewards program? Is there an affiliate program? See where you can improve to make more sales and to make repeat sales. And then ask yourself how your clients feel when they interact with you. So do you have a template for customer service? Do you have email templates that you use? What would improve your customer's experience so that they'd be more willing to write a review for you or buy from you again, or maybe share their products with their friends? So Branding is more than colors, fonts, and video intros. It's more than just your website. It's more than even just copywriting, and more than the things that we've talked about. It's everything together. Your brand is 90% customer service. 90%. So it goes back to what we were just talking about. Customer experience really drives revenue up for creative businesses and all businesses. Yeah. What others say about you, all of your customers, even your people who are potential customers, everything that they say about you equals your brand. So your brand,
it's the stuff they say behind your back.
yeah. So focus on customer service and great customer experiences, and make sure that what others say about you matches how you want them to feel. So there you have it. Four really simple, really important mistakes to avoid while building your business for success. So by now you probably see the importance of skipping some steps and getting right to the strategies to build your business and your offers.
Yeah, and we're not trying to be, Debbie Downers. Like, we understand having beautiful brand and all of those things. Like I said, I invested in doing that last year, but let me just say, I've been in business for 5 years. So let that settle in for like a second. I've been in business for 5 years before I decided to go crazy. And even then I didn't go too nuts, it was still reasonable, but we're saying just make sure that you're focused on the right things first, and then let the brand and everything else come naturally. Don't work it backwards and get overwhelmed by the fact that everything is so visual and so brand centric right now and everyone's messaging. We just want to make sure we drive that home for you. That's all.
Yeah.
But next week, you know what? We're getting ready to do something super exciting. And so I want to just wrap up this episode to, tell you a little bit about it. And that's it. Next week, we're launching a new 3-step challenge to help you create the offer that you need that sells. And so we'll be laying down the foundations of how to create an epic offer. So we want you to join us. We want to make sure that you're there for that. We've created this because we know with these 3 steps, like, you're going to start kicking some butt and start seeing the results that you're looking for. And you can join us by head over to thecreativebossmethod.com/challenge. So it's creativebossmethod.com/challenge. And I'll make sure that we have that in the notes as well as the blog. So if you want to go click that link, make sure you're on the list so that you can join that challenge, because we want to make sure that you are fine-tuning the right things in your business. Make sure to visit us over on Instagram already at The Creative Boss Method, and we will see you guys again next week.
See ya.